when we've had that sense of true harmony within ourselves, there's something that feels like we've arrived. Oh, yes. And that we're going to stay there forever. Only to find that 5 minutes later we are in a completely different emotional, psychological, physical experience of our lives. So it begs the question, what is that we experience? Are we meant to have that enduring bliss in each moment? And if so, how? Can we give the level of surrender and yes to that flow that we find ourselves grounded in it? And as I share a little bit today and more in the afternoon workshop if you choose to stay, I encourage you to not necessarily believe a word I have to share. I'm sharing the fruit of my experience. And I do so standing before the mystery of each one of you that is wrestling with your own set of truths and perspectives and surrenders. And my voice is simply here, hopefully, to celebrate and magnify that journey that is all your own. This afternoon, the workshop is called Living Your Yes. And it's going to take this essential nature that I believe is so of how do we stay in that flow? What does it mean? What are the essential pieces? What are pointers and perspectives and practices that we can take not to move away from our chosen lifestyles and do something different necessarily, but right in our path? I was a nun, as Donna mentioned, for 10 and a half years. And as a Carmelite, we lived a very mystical, traditional, contemplative lifestyle. We lived almost completely in silence, and our day was punctuated with chant, meditation, and prayer. And I was on fire in my late teens. I was having experiences that I called unitive so dramatically that it felt like I was making love with God and being pursued by the divine. So for me, joining the monastery was the natural progression to my life. I just had to be with the beloved. You know how that feels when you're in love. And you don't even have to do anything special. You just need to be with that one that seems to catalyze the love within. So I don't think the monastery is for everyone. This is not a talk to say you need to join a monastery to have those experiences. All you need is to be aligned in the spirit that is forever unceasingly calling and arising from within. The unequivocal surrender is to the ineffable teaching that arises in the very fiber of your own life. You are the canvas, which makes your story in one breath both important and not important. It's a paradox, isn't it? Because in one way, your story, the people, the choices, the events, they form the structure or the framework in which you live and move and have your being, in which you surrender and answer that call. So they're important. Recognizing, respecting, grieving when we're meant to grieve, celebrating when we're meant to celebrate. And in that very same breath is the reality that the story of your life is just that. It's just the structure. It's just the framework in this created world that gives the opportunity for the Spirit that is at your center, that is your essential nature. It gives the framework for that to express and magnify and lift the cosmos.